Hello, in this presentation we will be taking a look at the QuickBooks homepage, specifically the company section of the QuickBooks homepage. If you've been following along with us, we will be continuing with the Get Great Guitar problem. If not, that's okay. We will be looking at the homepage, specifically the company section in this presentation. If you have the backup file, you can restore that by going to the File and Restore. If not, that's okay. We will be working with the home page. Remember that we will be looking at the View tab open here. I usually like to have that open by going to the View and Open Window List. Only thing open in this tab will be the home page. Home page found at the company and home page. We're looking this time at the company section. Last time we looked at the vendors, the customers, and the employees section, looking at the flows within those sections. Those to me are the most important things on the home page by far. The company section has some other items that are useful a lot, that are used a lot, and therefore they warrant being on the home page, but at the same time, there's other places to get to these, and I tend to default to the other places to get to these. Although there are other places to get to the vendors, customers, and employees icons, I tend to use the home page for these because they have a nice flow chart here, and that helps me. But the fact that these I don't often go just in terms of a flow chart, that's why I tend to just jump to them using the drop downs rather than the home page. But the items here are important and relevant, and that's kind of why they're on the home page. At least a few of these are, and one of them will be the chart of accounts. That's going to be the chart of accounts, or list of accounts. And so if we click on the chart of accounts, we will see this item. When we set up the company, depending on the type of company we set up, QuickBooks will give the option to give us a chart of accounts. And it's good to go through and look through that. We will do that at a later time. Note, you can also find those, and I'll typically go to the chart of accounts by going to Lists and Chart of Accounts. So that's going to be the same item. I'm going to close this back out. And the next item here that is really important is going to be the items and services. So the items and services, another kind of list here that we're going to have over here, and that's going to be the thing that drives us. These items are the items that drive us for the service items and the inventory items when we make sales. We're going to need these in order to generate invoices, in order to generate sales receipts. This is going to be our list of invoices and our list of services and some other items like sales tax down here, another item. I'm going to close that up. Note that, of course, when we open these, they are opening in the open window, and we could toggle back and forth to these, going back to the home page over here. These two icons, the chart of accounts and the items, are going to be the most used or most important within the accounting process. We then have the inventory activities. This will be relevant if, of course, we are selling inventory rather than being just a service company. And this will help us manage our inventory, adjust quantity value on hand. We then have our order checks and forms. This we would need to be set up with the bank in order to order the checks through the bank. And note that when we do this, it can be very useful to have that set up, because then we can order checks and we can print the checks through QuickBooks. So the checks would still need to be pre-ordered, because we need the pre-ordered check numbers on them as one of our major checks in terms of internal controls. And then we would, if we were to use QuickBooks to print checks, we would put those pre-printed checks into the printer and print the amounts on them in that format. So we would still need to order the checks in that process. We're not going to be ordering checks in this presentation. What we'll do in this project is we will be just processing the checks. I'll talk about how the checks would then be entered when we get to that point, and then we're going to assign check numbers to the process, and that would be as if we were writing the checks outside, manually writing the checks, or doing it in some other process, and then entering that data into the system. We then have our calendar here. I'm sure everybody uses a calendar, of course, but it's useful to use the QuickBooks calendars for certain things. QuickBooks can give you those alarms and settings in terms of when things are due and when certain things need to happen. So this will be the QuickBooks calendar here, and if we take a look at this, this is what the QuickBooks calendar looks like.